Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Hampel, yes, a bi-weekly host here on Midnight Lycanthropy and LordeStarfox Radio. Again, I see you have awoken me from my slumber to deal with the beast of Bray Road. Absolutely delicious. I do appreciate you bringing me some offerings to allow me to replenish myself. Now that you have released me from my shackles, it is once again time for Lee Hampel and myself to take a walk into the darkness.
Stood up. I said, oh my god, it's a werewolf. And everybody in the car freaked out.
My creatures of the night. Yes, once again, you are tuning in to Midnight Lycanthropy on LordeStarfox Radio. We have Lee Hampel, who has already found his way into the fox den and has set up the late night fire so that we can again burn the timber into the early hours of the morning and talk about the beast of Bray Road. Lee, my guy, how you doing?
Doing excellent tonight. Excellent. Looking forward to talking to you, Starfox. And this is the third one. And all the podcasts I've done, they only take 45 minutes or an hour. I love this format because now we're getting into more of the meat of my experiments, my data, and many of the very, very supernatural, strange occurrences that have been on my farm. So this has worked out very well so far. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Such kind words. I appreciate you, my friend. I'm very glad to sit down with you. It's also important because your time is valuable. The fact that you feel this way is amazing. And that's why I really wanted to let you, per episode, just talk about pretty much what you'd like to, because you have so much stuff that we're going to be able to talk about. It's just going to paint a really brilliant picture of your experiences and also give you a place you can show off where you've spoke now, meaning if you feel like you don't want to have to reiterate yourself at points in time, you can be like, hey, check this out. I've already spoken about this for 45 minutes. Here are all my prints. Boom. I appreciate you, man. What have you been up to?
I've been just working on the farm here and getting hay from my elkhorn farm and bringing it down to my farm here in Wakanda, Illinois for our animals, and enjoying the weather. We've been having very nice weather the last 2 weeks since last time I talked to you. So enjoying that, and it's been a very, very, very nice 2 weeks actually. Very good weather, and we had snow one day, but the March weather has been very good. So
This is excellent. It's gotten a little bit nicer up here, but it is good to also hear that you have some remotely decent weather cranking, because I know some of my other friends, unfortunately, in different areas are either still freezing or getting absolutely smoked by tornadoes and hurricanes and floods. So yeah, it's pretty gnarly sometimes, eh?
Yes, I've seen it on the news, and all the sympathy and positive energy to those folks.
Right? It's definitely pretty scary when you see that. And at the same time, it's also a reminder to myself about, why we got to respect nature, but also why I try to live a little bit more inland. Not that it truly matters, meaning if the ocean does want to swallow North America, I mean, I don't really see how we would be able to stop that.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that technology.
Right? Unless you know Aquaman, which I don't personally, so I don't think we're going to be able to stop that anytime soon, right?
No, I don't know any Aquaman. Maybe some in the cryptid world, but
That's awesome. Well, to the audience tonight, as always, Lee has some very interesting images he would like to shed some light on, and we're going to be able to show them in the video, which is excellent. And sooner than later, they're going to be up on the North American Dogman Project website, my Facebook page, and the 207 Dogman page. I've just been so busy trying to edit, just get out my content. That way I was able to back my phone up, update my phone, because to anyone out there that doesn't know this, I legit do 95% of what I do from my iPhone. I then use my Samsung Art tablet and my Chromebook for the remaining parts of what I need to do. Yes, I would love to get a beautiful computer set up at some point. Got to roll with what is presented to you. I've just been churning out content, staying up till the early hours of the morning. I understand when you say you've been busy, for sure.
I know it's extremely difficult work, hard work, and tedious, and it takes a real dedicated person to pursue what you're pursuing. And thank you.
Again, very kind words. I appreciate you, my friend, and I totally enjoy it. I love sitting down with friends such as yourself and everybody else I get a chance to communicate with. It's well worth it. Plus, we're getting out excellent information to people, and it is now more important than ever to make sure that people understand what's actually occurring, not the just creepy pastas and all the clickbait things. Long story short, you will get a chuckle out of this. There's a person out there that has a remotely successful YouTube channel, nothing out of the boom realm of, oh my goodness, but it's got enough subs and their videos get decent amounts of traction too. Problem is, they have no truth to what they're presenting, yet they're presenting it as fact, saying, here are these 11 park rangers that have gone missing, coming up with whole backstories for the park rangers, then having other names of people that they communicated with, areas they worked, all of the above. Wow. But then when you start looking online and just doing the quick little dabbles, you don't find anything, which is not the way things work. Meaning if a park ranger goes missing, you can search this and get a quick little recognition of, okay, this is true. None of that, which doesn't mean what he was talking about wasn't true. But then I start reaching out to some of my friends that live in these areas that know people that have been there their whole lives, okay, that are elderly people that have never heard of any of these park rangers or these disappearances. Again, does that fully mean that they're not true? Not necessarily, but those are two big red flags. Wouldn't you think, per se, yourself, if you lived in an area your whole life and some park ranger, he just vanished, you would know about this, correct? Just red flags. So then we ended up finding out this guy's whole page is just junk, unfortunately.
Well, that's too bad. It's too bad also in the cryptid world that there's individuals who think hoaxing is funny and and think that they're being cute or something, and they really damage the actual data that people have collected or the actual personal experiences, personal sightings that people have had, because that's just a hoax. People look at some of my pictures and say that's a hoax, and I say, wait, let's talk about this. I've had 1 to 5 cameras out for 11 and a half years. And from day one till day 1,000, whatever, how many it is, oh man, it's a lot. 3,000, 4,000 days. I have monthly, weekly, daily had supernatural, impossible, implausible pictures. So the hoaxing thing, if people say that to me, I go, you know, okay, maybe somebody would hoax me for like a week. You know, if they would say, "Oh, I got, you know, Lee, have you seen if they, let's say they got some way to be able to walk on stilts, and they put some of the prints that I've seen hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times out there. They'd stop by and they'd say, "Lee, you seen any prints lately?" And they'd put them up by the barn, you know, and then they'd stop by and see any prints lately, you know. Maybe a 3-week period, that would be the length of it. But unfortunately, there are individuals that think that's cute, and it does definitely hurt the cryptid study.
Such well spoken, and kudos right there. It's one in the same pot, whether it's the missing people or, like you said, the cryptids. It's just misinformation, which is not something that is cool. It's not something that people should be trying to make money off hoaxing and just false information. Yet here tonight, you got some actual great information and images we're going to talk about. I'm going to hand you the mic.
Absolutely.
Yes, and let you start talking about the images you'd like to talk about. And to the audience, you will see all of these in the good old video.
Okay. Last week, and I guess that'll be coming out, but last week we talked about the 3 times that I've seen it. It was as a personal experience, or with my, you know, that again is hard to get data right when you're seeing it, but I did take pictures of it for 3.5 minutes of the Dogman in my neighbor's field. But today I want to talk about the intelligence, I guess, or the he jokes around with me. He entices me. He kids me. I should say it, whatever. But it is extremely intelligent. The cryptid is on my farm that I've seen 3 times, and he plays games. So we're going to talk about the games that the Dogman plays with me when I'm up at my farm in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Boom. Excellent stuff right there. That's some nightmare fuel, which is a terminology I really do enjoy using, which is why my second podcast is called Camp Nightmare Fuel. No pun intended. Wow. Well, let's get rolling, my friend. I'm going to once again give you the mic and let's dance.
Okay, that bale of hay weighs 1,100 pounds, and this is just to show you how I load my truck and trailer. I have all these big round bales, 1,100-pound bales, but near my barn. This is right up by my pole barn, and I put one on the truck, and then I go over and retrieve another one. And I have a spear in my tractor bucket there that I spear in there, and I come over and I set another one on my trailer. Okay, so that's how I load my truck and trailer. Now on June 23rd, my trailer had snow on it. So I came up, I put a large round bale in my truck, looked over at my trailer, and there was some snow on my trailer. I just looked over to make sure everything was okay, because I'm coming back with another 1,100-pound bale. You know, I want to make sure the trailer is attached well, and I want to make sure the trailer is, you know, ready to accept my 1,100-pound bale. So I then go over and get another bale. Now, this is approximately about a 5-minute trip it takes me to spear the bale, come back, and get ready to put it on the trailer. And again, that's a reenactment to show how I load the trailer. But on January 23rd, when the snow was on the trailer, when I went to set the bale on the trailer, I looked down at the trailer, and now you see the round bale. See the round bale right there? That's the upper part of the picture, is the round bale of hay. See the snow on the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes before, there was just some snow. There wasn't the rectangle at the top. There was a piece of cardboard there that I use sometimes to set the bale on, and I had taken that off. The trailer had snow on it, and I went to set down this large bale of hay on the trailer. 5 minutes from when I put the one on the truck, and look what's on the trailer that was not there 5 minutes before. Look right at the bottom of the bale, and you see a perfect handprint in the snow. I'm setting down the bale, hey, I look, and here's a handprint on my trailer that wasn't there before. And it's huge. It's a huge handprint. And I took my measuring stick there, and that handprint is 10 inches long. And it looks like it has a fifth finger. It looks like it has now, so it's 10 inches. My handprint's 8 inches. 8 inches. Now, if you look at the next one, where it's just a handprint, you can see a thumbnail. Look at that long thumb, the nail on the thumb. If I zoom in, I don't know if you can see that. If you zoom in, you see a long nail on the thumb. All the other fingers, the other four fingers have nails. And then there's a fifth or a sixth, I guess, another thing sticking off to the side, which I don't know what that is. Was he holding something or got a fourth finger? I mean, this wasn't there 5 minutes before. And he's right behind me. He's within 100 feet of me. And he walks over and puts his handprint on the trailer and he didn't walk because there weren't any, he flew or something, jumped, because I couldn't see any footprints in the snow. It just says handprint on the trailer. I'm like looking at it. I'm looking for tracks, and there's no tracks. It was one of the most bizarre, implausible activities that the creature has done right next to me in all these 11 and a half years.
Yikes. I could see how that would be a tad bit traumatizing and also make you wonder why this thing is just screwing with you per such. It could have something in its hand, meaning I do have reports of these creatures that have been seen holding sticks, axes. The cynocephali, which I do think has a lot to do with the Dogmen, are those ancient dog-like people that fought with Alexander the Great. Herodotus documented it. They also are involved in not Native American lore as much as, say, the actual country of India. But yes, the Native Americans do speak of dog people as well. They speak more of skinwalkers, etc. But the cynocephali did have armor and weapons. According to Alexander the Great and Herodotus, they were hellacious fighters. Not saying it has to be the same creature, but if they're using swords and armor per se, there's no reason why people wouldn't see them, say, with axes or something in their hands, articulated. I mean, my pet squirrel and the little chipmunk that I built the house for out back, they have hands. They pick up nuts in their hand, crack them open. They also use their hands to pull flowers towards their mouth when they're eating them, etc. So they're still putting things in their hands. Doesn't really seem too far out of the realm. Also, your other statement you made about maybe having an extra digit. At this point in time, there's really nothing that isn't on the table to be looked at.
Yeah, yes, I think both those options are there. The fifth phalange down there, or finger, it looks weird. It's narrow at the bottom, and then it gets wider at the top. So it easily could be something that he holds in his hand, and then that'd be a regular four-fingered with a thumb hand. Which I do have tracks in the mud of four fingers and a thumb. I have other tracks of the front hands of the creatures out there, where there is a four fingers and a thumb. So I think that could easily be something he's holding in his hand. Yes,
I definitely agree with you, my friend, for sure. Like I said, anything that has articulation in its hands and feet brings a whole nother level of interaction with the world, meaning something that is fully quadrupedal per se, like dogs. Dogs really don't have much articulation in their feet, okay? There's not really much dexterity there. Now, when you look at a cat, much more dexterity, but it's still not a hand. They can claw things and play with it in their paw. Again, now when you look at something like we mentioned, per se, like baboons or squirrels or raccoons that have these hands now, I've seen raccoons do some pretty cool, like gourmet consumption where this guy was feeding them bread and stuff, and he would put milk out there and they would dip their bread in the milk and start eating it. Whereas, like I said, something like a canine can't just take a piece of bread, and start dipping it in milk and stuff. They use their mouth per se for the majority of time. Yeah, very interesting stuff.
And why would he come? However he got there, why would he come and put a handprint on my trailer while I'm driving the tractor 100 feet away, picking up, getting a big bale of hay and bringing it back, and he goes behind me and puts a handprint on my trailer? That's deliberate. That's deliberate game playing to me. Okay, I'll just show you I'm here. Okay, you're over there getting the bale. Hey, I'm showing you I'm over in your trailer. I'm right here, guy, and you're not going to see me because I never saw him. And of course, it's not my neighbors. I mean, first of all, they'd be standing there laughing at me. But but first of all, it's a 10-inch hand, and my hands I'm a 6'4" guy, and I have 14 size feet, and I have big hands, and my hands are 8 inches from the top to the bottom. This one is 10 inches. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge.
To answer your question as well, meaning, I don't know, I think there's probably a couple things at play. Could be curiosity, meaning, what is this big tractor thing doing? Also could be to completely just mess with you, as you said, or a interesting third option that we're looking at is maybe some of these things need people's fear to fully manifest themselves, meaning I don't dive into paranormal really. I have other people on my science team that do, which are the ones that are looking into this. I'm a investigative photojournalist that dives into missing people. Yet, let's say that is trying to gain power by fear, meaning from everybody that works with paranormal that is involved with myself has told me paranormal beings can throw things, can push people, can open doors. All right, interesting. Can leave footprints. Okay, interesting. But at the same time, they're not here yet. I was thinking when you were talking about, per se, some of the tracks that had all of a sudden just exploded off in a different direction, or they just disappear without trees and things around.
They just stop. Oh, yeah, out in the middle of my field, yes.
Yeah. What if these things aren't fully here yet? They still need to scare people to gain their fear. There's plenty of lore out there in every culture across the world that speaks about certain demons or yokai or etc. that need fear, and they literally love the fear. Okay. Just something interesting, food for thought, maybe thinking that when they're acting like we're going to open this door of this car, people are kind of seeing them, right? They think that they see them there. Well, it could easily just rip off the door if it was really there. Yet, what if it just isn't fully capable yet? It's not strong enough because it doesn't have enough fears installed. Just interesting, man.
Yeah, I'm out there a lot. I mean, I've been, it's been near me many, many times. I know that. And when we look at the next set of pictures with my camera, I just think it plays games. I mean, I think it plays games with me because it does stuff that I mean, it does throw rocks at my barn. I'll be in my barn, or people will be in my barn, and they'll get it with rocks, and you run outside and there's nothing out there. My neighbor, it hit on he was out working in his barn, and like 8 feet up in the air was a loud slap, and he went out and there was nothing there. So it does do that around the farms, around all my neighbors' farms, and it does throw rocks, or it does sometimes has hit my barn at least 3 or 4 times when I'm in it. You could hear the slap. But they run out. You go out there, it's nothing there. So I don't know if he works on fear or just playing games, because here he could have ran in front of me, not behind me, and put his handprint on my trailer while I was over getting the big round bale of hay. So yeah, I don't fear him. He's only like really scratched one car. He's chased people in the Elkhorn area, but he's never hurt anybody in the Elkhorn area.
Excellent, right there. Very great information as well as observations for sure. And again, I'm going to throw you that mic right back so you can start talking about some more of your images.
Okay, so see me walking away. This is a trail cam picture. All right.
Yep.
And it says May 4th, 2014, 2:07 p.m. Okay. All right. I put the trail camera up. Then I walked in front of it in the neighbor. This is in the neighbor's cornfield in May. Of course, it's been harvested, and I found a very good line of tracks. So I'm following a very good line of tracks, and I'm going west. My camera's facing north, and I'm going west. Okay, now, so that's 2:07 when that took a picture, and the camera was set to take one picture at a time. If you look at the next picture, the camera has been tilted, and that's at 2:10 p.m. The camera, if the parallel line of the field now is down at an incline, at an angle. So the camera has been moved, and also you can see it's been turned. If you look at the left side of the picture, you see the trees in the background where my head is. Now you look at the left side, that set of trees is in the middle of the picture. So it's been turned probably about 45 degrees in the 3 minutes that I walked away from it. Do you see that, StarFox?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the camera's turned. Now I'm following a set of tracks. I'm going for a walk to follow a set of tracks. I come back, look at the camera, and the camera is turned and twisted. So now you see me, that's my hat. You see me straightening the camera out at 2:49. So I came back like 40 minutes later, 48 minutes later, after I had followed the tracks all the way across the neighbor's field. I come back and my truck was parked right by this camera, and I look and the camera's all twisted. It's turned and twisted. Look at the angle now of the cornfield, and there was nobody out there. I'm a half mile from anybody. Nobody's going to come out in my field and turn my camera. I mean, it's absolutely the beast did that. There's nobody out there, and that's how he plays games. He did this while I was 3 minutes away walking in the field. He came over and turned the camera and twisted it twice, actually, because now it has more of an angle to it, in that time period while I was following the tracks across the field. That's absolutely playing games with me. Yeah, I mean, he had to be standing right next to my truck. Or does he manifest like you talked about? Is he in another world and then he can manifest within moments? And now he's here, so he turns my camera, then he disappears. I think he does have that capability.
Dang, that's some creepy stuff right there for sure. Just adds a lot more layers to the mystery that we're trying to figure out right here.
Now you have a set of 3 of them?
Yes.
Is there 3 on your screen now? There's 3 pictures?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is another time, May 10th. But look at, okay, so I put the camera up. It was parallel. The ground is is horizontal. Cornfield's horizontal. Then it's turned and twisted the same way it was before, and now the field is at an incline, and the field's at an incline. The background trees are about the same in the second picture. The third picture, look how much it's turned now. And these are 3 consecutive pictures in my SD card. Look how much it's turned to the left now. It's turned like probably 60 degrees because now there's bushes on the left, and and the tree line is totally different in the background. So he tilted that camera and then twisted it like 60 degrees. And I secure them on my post. That was on a steel post. I secure it very well. You have to take a hand and really kind of grind it over to twist these cameras. That's not done by a bird that lands on it or by a deer that's rubbing against it, anything like that. They could never twist my cameras. I tie them on very securely with the strap, and you have to like wiggle it and grind it over to get it to turn the 60 degrees that bottom picture is.
Dang. Again, creepy stuff. Sure, my friend. What the heck?
So he plays games. He plays games. Why would he turn my camera? For any other reason other than to just say, Lee, I'm here. Watch, I'll turn your camera. And he's done this numerous times. I'll turn your camera and just tell you I'm hanging around. There's no reason for him to turn my camera. Just to mess with me.
Dang, again. Straight up nightmare fuel, seemingly is pointing in the direction of your statement for sure. And also, even though we are coming around third base here, we still have a little bit of time left. You have some more images as well you'd like to touch base on, huh?
Because we got him now. Let's go to the next set of pictures. And you can see it's straight. Then it's tilted. And these are 3 set of pictures that's on the SD card. Then it's straight again. So he twisted, turned it, he twisted it, then he turned it back again and straightened it out. But what we're missing here is there's a finger on the right side of the picture. There's a hairy finger on one of those pictures. His finger is on one of these pictures. There's a black finger. We caught him because there's a black finger in one of these pictures. Okay, the camera is straight. The next picture, the camera is tilted and twisted to the left. Then it's turned back some and straightened again. What's that? That's not messing with me. What's he doing? He's totally messing with me. He turned it, he twisted it, turned it, and then straightened it out again. There was nobody out in my field during this time. I mean, there's no farmers do not go in other farmers' field. They don't do that. They without permission. You don't go in another farmer's field without permission. And they'd be on the camera or whatever. Of course, they could stand behind it like he did. But we have his finger. This just shows me that he's playing games, just like he put the handprint on the trailer, just to say, I'm here hanging around. So this is evidence. This is evidence of something being there that is very intelligent for whatever reason. To play games like this and just mess with my cameras and put handprints and stuff. That's an intelligence. That's not a normal any animal that we have. No bear is going to go up and say, I'll twist the camera and I'll put it back again. I mean, no deer, no coyote. I mean, this camera is 5 feet off the ground. This camera is 5 feet off the ground. It's not down by the ground.
Yeah, acute observations for sure. That would be one organized raccoon or bear or something that would go back and then put it up properly, right?
Raccoon, he can't climb a steel, metal post. Raccoon looks for food. He's not going to go up there and He smells no food. There's no smell. He's not going to go up there and see
Exactly.
what the camera looks like. And animals search for food. They don't search for, well, I'll mess with this guy like this. That's totally
Waste energy. Yeah.
abstract from any animal's thoughts.
Very true, my friend. Very, very true. Well, that is some gnarly stuff. Is there any other images you would like to touch on tonight before we do let you get back to things you need to attend to, my friend?
How much time we have? That? No, I'm. How much time do we have?
And we got like 5, maybe 10 minutes or so.
Okay, all right. Let's do the 2018, 19, right in there. It was 7:30 at night, and I was driving along my fence line. I was just, going around the field, see what anything was out there, anything, and just to drive around and check. And it was in September, so it's still grass, and I was still baling hay, in fact, and stuff. I was could have been baling hay that day. I can't quite remember, but I was driving around my field. Along my north fence line, there's a woods that extends. It's in my field a little bit, and it extends into the neighbor's field. I'd say an acre of woods. Very, very, very much overgrown. A lot of sticker bushes and blackberry bushes are low lying, and it's very difficult to get through. It's just been there for 40, 50 years and hasn't been disturbed to any degree. So it's a very thick woods and very much undergrowth. So I was driving along my north fence line at 7:30 at night, so it's getting towards dusk. This is September, and all of a sudden, pow! A stick hits my truck, and I go, and I had my window down. So I go, okay, I know exactly. Okay, so I know that no kid is out there. I just, it's my hayfield, and I've been up there all day, and there was nobody out in my hayfield, and I knew immediately, okay, you okay? Where you at? So I threw it in reverse and backed up like 10, 15 feet where the stick had to come from. The stick had to come from, and nothing was there. And of course, it was still light. Nothing was there, And I go, okay, where'd you go? I'm talking to him. Where'd you go? But then I pulled forward and took this picture because in my field, right where my truck had been hit, was this foot-long stick that had been broken off to be a foot long. Both ends had been broken. And I looked at my truck, and now we got to skip a couple pictures, but you see the fender of my truck. There's two pictures of the fender of my truck, and you see the large scratch that's on my truck. There's two or three large scratches on my truck. Actually, the second picture shows it well, and it's downward. It's slanted downward. So this is on my driver's side. Rear, right above my rear tire. And see those two fresh scratches right there. There's two or three of them right there.
Dang. Yep. I'll be able to blow those up for you in the video where people will be able to see them much better.
Yeah.
That's pretty stuff, huh?
Okay. So that obviously wasn't there before it got hit with a stick. Well, I have a friend, a guy who helps me do things, and he really helps me try to understand some of the stuff and analyze it. And so I called him and I said, okay, I want to reenact this because I know exactly where it happened. The stick was laying there, and I retrieved that stick, so I have that stick, and I want to reenact. He's 6'5". He's 6'5". So we went out in the same area. I parked my truck, and then he worked his way into the woods where he had a similar size stick above his head, and where he would throw it at the truck. We figured the angle that's coming down from he's 6'5" and a little bit above his head, the angle that stick would come down to make this line going in my truck. And we moved him into the woods maybe 6-8 feet. And that made it, and the way that the stick was coming, would come towards the truck, would make this exact impression, that line at that angle in my truck. So we're working with that. I'm moving him over. He said, okay, no, I think I'm looking at the truck. I think right here. Okay, I think that would be where, this stick had to come from. And he goes, look at this. He bent down. Here was 2 more sticks in a pile, 1 foot long. We're both about a foot long, in a pile, broken sticks. He had ammunition. He had made 3 of these sticks and broke them off. He had two of them were still laying on the ground, right where he had to be standing when he hit my truck. He had 3 of them there when I'm driving along. I mean, that's insane. That makes, that's, if that's not messing, I don't know. I mean, that's very intelligent. He broke 3 sticks about a foot long to throw at my truck. He saw me coming around the other side of the field. Yeah, I mean, all you can do is imagine what occurred, because all I know is my truck was hit with a stick, and the stick was laying right next to where my truck was, laying right in my field where I was driving. But yet here's 2 more sticks in a pile 6 to 8 feet into the woods. Of course, now where did he go in 10 seconds it took me to back up? There was no rustling of woods. The woods is super thick. You can't run through the woods. He'd be, where'd he go? Your analysis that I think he just dissolves or he moves into another universe, another multi-universe, has to fit these situations, because he hit my truck with a stick, and 10 seconds later, he's gone.
Very bizarre stuff, my friend, for sure. I don't even know what else could be occurring except for what we've been talking about throughout our adventures so far. There's just a ton of interesting things that need to be figured out for sure. And I mean, we're definitely on the right path, yet there's just so much bizarre stuff for sure. It's truly baffling, my friend. And I always do appreciate you hanging out with us. Before we let you go tonight, my friend, is there anything else you would like to touch base on?
Well, again, I'm collecting data. Figure it out. That could be 50 years from now, like we talked last time. I'm collecting data. Science doesn't move it moves slowly. I mean, like Einstein, we talked about. Einstein mathematically calculated there were going to be black holes. They never found a black hole for 50 years. Like the data I'm collecting, information like this, where it removes itself, dissolves, disappears in seconds. Yes, there's a explanation for that. Do we have it now? No. Will we have it next week? I doubt it. Will we have it in 50 years? Hopefully. So that's really what my goal is. I call it, I'm just observational physics. I'm collecting data, still collecting data, and hopefully someday there becomes an answer. Probably not in my lifetime, but that's okay. That's what science doesn't depend on lifetimes. It depends on data and experiments.
Wow. Again, very excellent stuff, my friend. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's why we have you always coming to hang out with us, so that way we can make sure your images do get out there, and also that the proper information you want out there is out there, which is awesome. And just keep on getting that content like you're doing, my friend. And we will continue to make sure that we help you out in any way possible. And you have so much that we're going to be able to continuously talk about and collaborate on, which is absolutely excellent, my friend. I always do appreciate you.
No, thank you very much, Starfox. Thank you very much for continuing pursuing, and like I say, many podcasts we do one, and we get talked about tracks and a few other things. This way, we're getting more in depth into my actual data that I have and the evidence and collection I have. Thank you.
Of course, my friend. Like I said, thank you for your time. It's what teammates and friends are for. Yet to the audience, we do need to allow Lee to get back things he needs to attend to. He is a very busy guy. Cannot spend all morning here with us. No worries though. He will be back bi-weekly as always, and our previous episode will be out very soon. And make sure to check out the description down below and also our playlist, and be on the watch for our latest contributions to the field. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Lee. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you to your audience. Thank you very much.
Ooh, you creatures of the night. I do adore every single one of you. And thank you for tuning in again. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the information to the algorithm. We will catch you very soon.